The average millionaire is 50 or 60, y'all.
Yeah.
Like everybody doesn't all have it together in their 20s or 30s. So just keep doing those small habits, investing, saving, paying off debt. And before you know it, your results will start to show.
And it will literally pay off so big. Like you said, those small habits will have those big results over time. I promise you. But you funny, I ain't gonna lie.
I've heard that before. Thank you.
She said, I feel like I'm preaching today. Let me go ahead and give y'all this message.
I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag.
What's up? You are now listening to FY Fly the podcast, and I'm your host, Hassan Thomas, along with Remy, and we are here to share tools on how millennials can budget, save, invest, and understand student debt and credit to achieve financial freedom. If you're a high school student, college student, or someone who's interested in gaining more financial insight, this podcast is for you.
I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a bag. I'm trying to give me a
What's up, my FY Fly folks out there? How y'all doing? I hope y'all doing all right. Welcome to the FY Fly podcast. My name is Hassan Thomas, aka the kid that did and the man that can, baby. And today, we're going to be chopping it up with money coach. We're going to be chopping it up with serial entrepreneur and side hustle queen, Miss Paige Williams. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Hassan? Thank you so much for having me. That is an awesome introduction.
For sure, you know how to turn you up.
Of course, you hyping me up too good right now.
Hey, I know you're gonna deliver. So from the beginning, I see you gonna deliver. So we definitely gonna rock out here. Paige and I met at FinCon last year, and happily we're rocking out here on FY Fly because what we really like to do, we like to skip the fluff and get right into the good stuff. That sound good?
Sounds about right to me. Let's do it.
Man, so the first thing I want to know, were you always good with money, or was there a turning point in your life where you were like, okay, now it's time to get right?
Yeah, that's a good question. Basically, the turning point for me was like 2 years ago, actually, like 2.5 years ago, when I was in grad school. I was going to grad school for biomedical sciences to go to medical school. Yeah, to be a doctor. And yeah, basically I was so stressed, so anxious. I'm like, how am I going to do this for the next 4 years and live this life that I'm not passionate about? So, I'm a person of faith. So after praying like so much and crying, I realized it's like the light bulb went off. I was in credit card debt because I did get a credit card when I was like 19 years old because Ulta got me. And I used it because that 20%
Hey, we appreciate the authenticity though.
Yes. And I remember I told my dad and he was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's cool. It can like start your credit score. Just pay the minimum. Pay what you can. Horrible advice, right? And so I did that.
Horrible advice.
And I would pay my statements, but one day it just clicked. And I'm like, why am I paying more than I spent? And I'm like, what? There's this thing called interest. They tackle that on if you don't pay off the full balance. And I was like, oh my God, like no one taught me. Obviously my parents didn't teach me. School didn't teach me. So let me see how to pay off this credit card debt and teach myself. So that was the turning point. I started researching. The first thing I typed on Google was best books to teach me about money. And of course, the first one, you already know it. That's Robert Kiyosaki is my man. And I flipped that book open, read it, became obsessed, and the rest is history. So,
so for the young millennials, Gen Zers that are listening to this podcast, what was the immediate first step to get right? What was that for you?
For me, the immediate first step to get right is changing my view on money. So when I realized that I don't have to work for 40 years and just work a job that my parents expect me to work and that I can make my money work for me, that was a switch. That was a light bulb. So because I realized, oh, there's other people that are doing, this is what the rich people are teaching their kids. Why
Yeah.
can't that be me too? That what I say, you know, you can teach people all the strategies, whatever, but I say it's a mindset, a thinking switch. Because
Facts.
when you believe that you can do it, it just takes you to believe that you can do it, then you got to go for it. So that's the
That
immediate switch I would say.
that mindset shift. I'm right
Yeah,
there with you.
I'm telling
When I
you.
left college, I graduated in 2020 during COVID, and when I left college,
Yeah.
I literally blocked all of the distractions, everything that
Yes.
wasn't adding to me. I had to block them out. So I created like a tunnel basically of
Yeah.
everything that I cared for, and I put it in my little tunnel. And if it fell outside of that tunnel, it wasn't getting my time, my energy, or my money. So
That's
I'm
what's
right there
up.
with you, changing that mindset and locking in. But also, one of the main things that we agree with, or that we're aligned with as well, is those positive habits.
Yes,
So can you
habits.
dive into those habits that will turn like a young millennial into a money-making individual?
Yes, sir, I will. So yeah, positive, basic like money habits, right? On how to pay off
Mm-hmm.
debt. Okay, so one thing I did was I just tracked my expenses. You know, I know a lot of people, they don't know, like they're getting paid, getting a paycheck every week, bi-weekly, but they just
Mm-hmm.
don't know where their money's going. Like they're either blowing it or it's
Yeah.
just going to thin air. But
Did you
what
use an
you,
app or what you use?
yeah, I used an app. I used Mint. That was the first one I
Did you hear
used
that
because
they're going out of business? Did you hear that?
wait, what? That's funny because I don't really use it anymore. So maybe that's why, because I don't use it.
I know. But go ahead, my fault, bro.
Okay, but yeah, I tracked my expenses and then I was intentional because I wanted, so the fastest way to make a change, to take action is I think if you're running from pain. So for me, I was like running away from the confusion, the stress of having credit card debt to being
Mm-hmm.
debt free. And so to do that, I knew that I had to either cut my expenses or make more money.
Yeah.
So
Only two options.
yeah, only two options. And I was working like a $9 an hour job at that time. So what I
Mm-hmm.
did, you know, you called me the side hustle queen, but
Come
yeah, that's
on.
exactly what I did. In grad school, I used my knowledge to make more money while still going to school. So
Mm-hmm.
I tutored. It was very lucrative. I could easily make an extra 300 to 400 a month. And I
Wow.
flipped furniture. I basically went to Goodwill and bought some cheap furniture, you know, shined it up a little and sold it
Mm-hmm.
to on Facebook Marketplace.
Buy
And
low and
so
sell high. That's the technique right there.
hey, that's what's up. And so, yeah, those are basically the practical steps I did. Just know where my money is going and
Mm-hmm.
just increasing my income through side hustles so I can pay off my debt and use that money for good, you know? So yeah.
I like that.
Thank
And
you.
I ain't gonna lie, when you go to your page, you see traveling, having fun. So I know you're not new to that.
Oh my
So,
gosh.
but look, you ain't the only one. You know, all my
Yeah.
millennials, all my Gen Zers, we love to have a good time.
Yes, we
So
do.
talk to my audience a little bit about how we can have fun while still making sure we're financially responsible.
Yes, I love that. So, you know, that's where delayed gratification comes in, right? Because I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
always like that. I remember when I was in grad school and I was just studying, like, oh my God, I didn't even have a social life like that. I remember my friends, they would want to have lunch and dinner with me
Yeah.
and I'd be like, well, I have to study. And I remember wanting to visit my family in Florida, but I also had a part-time job and you know how jobs work.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just call out like that. You can't just be like, "Oh, peace out. I'm going on vacation for 2 weeks."
Yeah.
So,
So you put the request in, but I don't know they're gonna honor it.
yeah, you don't know if they're going to honor it. So, but yeah, just remember it doesn't always start out like having so much fun and traveling. You have to do the work So you can
Mm-hmm.
get, so that's what I did. I did the work so I could get to the place where I can enjoy the fruit of my labor. So
Yeah.
in terms of, balance, managing your money and having fun, I would say
Mm-hmm.
just just have a goal. Like if you know you're going to go on a trip or something, make sure that you have that savings in place. So when you go on that
Yeah.
trip, you're not just spending it all on a credit card. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's going to put you into debt and you're just flexing for what? For
Yeah.
people who don't even like you? Like, no. So you want to be just comfortable for yourself and know that you are responsible instead of just trying to,
Mm-hmm.
flex on people and have fun. So yeah, that's what I did. I had to put in the work, save,
Yeah.
learn. I also use credit card points. So that's another way I can travel. Another way I can travel a lot. And yeah, just leverage all of that. And then the time came when I started traveling.
So I have a kind of a practical example.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Elizabeth City State University. It's a
Okay.
Yeah,
I know them.
I was about to say,
They're
North Carolina.
Down the street.
Mm-hmm. So I was speaking to some of their freshmen last year, and they were actually, a little upset because they couldn't go on spring break that year because they didn't have enough money, to take the trip. Everybody going to Miami and they ain't have enough for that. So I told them, I was like, so let's change, kind of the mindset of how we're doing these things. Let's start saving in October or November because we know spring break ain't changing. It's in March every year.
Yeah,
it's not changing. So when it's coming. So I told them, get this saving app. The saving app I was using at the time was an app called Yotta.
Okay.
YOTTA, and it allows you to save automatically. And like when you save, if you set up automatic payments, they have like little lottery ticket things. So if they draw the lottery ticket, you get a little deposit. So I was using that app, and I told them, hey, check that app out. Save automatically, set up automatic payments. So when March comes around, you have your $700 to buy your Miami ticket. We need some new clothes when we go to Miami. You need the hotel. So have that money saved up instead of pulling from your bill money that month, or instead of pulling from your car money that month just to take that trip. You know what I mean?
There ain't nothing like going on a vacation with no money, broke. That is the worst because you can't do what you want to do.
Facts. Or not having enough because I'm sure but boom, you take like a 5-day vacation. Everybody dripping everybody got the sauce the first 3 days, but them last 2 days ran out of money a little bit. The clothes ain't clothing like it should.
You gotta go to the cheapest restaurant. It's just no fun. You want to make sure you have enough. So hey, take some delayed gratification. Because I remember, I think I wanted to go somewhere. I don't know, maybe New York. But it just wasn't the right time and I didn't have the money. And my mom was like, you need to save that money, Paige, because what if we go to Mexico next year, So it's like, sometimes you have to wait so you can go somewhere bigger and better. So that's what.
Come on. And I feel like that's what that delayed gratification is. And for anybody who, may not know, delaying your gratification will have bigger results than you getting that instant gratification, because we're so used to now with social media. If we don't like something, swipe. We don't like something, swipe. You know what I mean? We're so used to that instant gratification, where delayed gratification can really bring you those results. And do you feel like that's important to not even just traveling, but do you feel like delayed gratification is important to success as well? Or what's your thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh. Yes. I think delayed gratification is important in every aspect in life. So, okay. So I go to the gym. I love to relate fitness and finance because it goes hand in hand. It's like the same mindset. So you know how to build muscle, you have to strength train or lift weights, right? Do you expect to have a 6-pack the next day after you do an ab exercise? No. You know that it's going to take some months And that's why you have delayed gratification. Like you fix your diet, you go,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you do it multiple times a week, and then the results start to show. The same
Gotcha.
goes with your money. Like you're not gonna, I don't know, save $100 or invest $100 and be a millionaire tomorrow. Like sometimes
Mm-hmm.
it takes consistency, dedication, going, like just pushing through those obstacles, through the pain, like in the gym. You are hurting when
Mm-hmm.
you're lifting those weights. Yo, I feel like I'm preaching today, but it takes that,
Nah, you popping your stuff. You popping your
it takes that delayed gratification to be
uh
financially independent, financially confident, whatever you want to call it. Like the
mm-hmm.
average millionaire is 50 or 60, y'all.
Yeah.
Like everybody doesn't all have it together in their 20s or 30s. So just
Mm-hmm.
keep doing those small habits, you know, investing, saving, paying off debt. And before you
Yeah.
know it, your results will start to show.
And it will literally pay off so
Yes.
big. Like you said, those small habits will have those big results over time,
Period.
I promise you. But you funny, I ain't gonna lie.
I've heard that before. Thank you.
She said, I feel like I'm preaching today. Let
I
me
feel like,
go ahead and give y'all this message.
ooh, but yeah.
Hey. So let's talk about why it's important to actually pay yourself first. Because
Yes.
I've heard it, these last 3 years since I got into the financial literacy game, I've heard it. But this year, for some reason, it really clicked for me, and it makes
Yes.
complete sense in my opinion. So the way I look at paying yourself first is literally just changing the order in which we do things. So normally, whenever we get paid, especially people that look like us, whenever we get paid, we going to we getting a haircut, we getting the nails done, we going to the mall,
Yeah.
we watching movies, we doing all these different things, partying on Saturday. So usually our check is gone by Sunday.
Yeah. It
So the
is.
thing with paying yourself first, you pay yourself, and I'm not saying pay yourself 50% of your income, but just getting in that habit of paying yourself first. Then after, you can pay your bills, and then whatever you have left over, you can spend freely and turn up with, because you know you're covered, your bills are covered, and then whatever left over, let's turn up.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. And I think it comes from maybe fear of not having enough after you pay yourself first. Like maybe you're scared of, oh, am I going to have enough money to pay the bills? Am I going to have enough money to do what I want? But that kind of puts fire under your butt. Cause let's say you do save 100, invest 100, and you don't have enough money to buy fast food. I don't know. Then that puts fire to make more money, right? So it's really good to like change that order, like you said.
And then also to your point, even if you, like, say you live in the way that people are living right now, you ain't got enough money to pay the bills at the end of the month.
Yeah.
So, but the thing is, you spent that extra money paying for a liability, spending on something that you can't get back. If you paid yourself first, you can dip into your savings to say you need $100 more to cover the rest of the bills. You can dip into that savings.
Because you have
you
that
probably
money.
Can't return because you already wore the shoes, you already got the hair. You can't take them things back.
You really can't. I mean, I don't know. Maybe sometimes you can before 30 days, but who does that?
Hey, I know some folks now. Get a designer, take a little picture and take it right back. I know some folks. Some folks now.
What is the reason? But yeah, I know what you mean too.
Hey, I'm telling you. So we can't have you on here and not ask our famous final question. I'm going to say 2 quotes, and I need you to let me know which one is more accurate in your opinion.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Bet. So the first one is, more money, more problems. Shout out Biggie. And the second one is, money can't buy happiness. Which one do you agree with most?
Okay, I agree with...
Put on the spot.
No, I agree with money can't buy happiness. It's so true.
Okay.
Because I've actually kind of experienced it. So my first month in business, I made more money than you. So I'll just be transparent. So my first month in business, I made $10,000, right? And that was like
1 month.
yeah, I was like, whoa, what's going on? Like, I went from that part-time job paying me $1,000 to 10xing my income. And I just felt such an imposter. Like, I don't deserve this.
Wow.
Is this even real? And I didn't feel this overarching sense of joy. So I just believe that money, it doesn't buy happiness, but it does make some problems like not go away, but it decreases problems. It makes your life more free. So let's say you are behind on debt, like you need to pay off your credit card debt. Yeah, the more money you make, you can pay that off, and that gives you peace of mind. So I think the more money, it can give you peace of mind on certain things, but it's not going to necessarily make you super happy. So, yeah.
Miss Paige, you done went crazy today.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
You popped your stuff for sure. Thank you so much for joining the FY Fly podcast. If you have any words, any final takeaways, go ahead and let them know where to reach you.
All right. So you can reach me on Instagram at the Paige Victoria. My DMs are open if you have any questions. Just, I'm super transparent. And if you even want to see how my coaching program works, just shoot me a DM and I'd love to get back to you. Also, in the next month, I do have something is releasing. I'm working on something. I'm working on an ebook. So be on the lookout for that. Has to be released. It has to be released. So I'm super pumped for that. And it's going to be it'll be on pre-sale at the beginning of December. So it'll be cheaper than what it usually will be. So look out for that. And just thank you, everybody. And thank you, Hassan, so much for having me on your podcast. I really had a fun time.
Nah, fact. We turned up today.
Yeah, we touched.
So for everybody listening, like we talked about here today with the positive habits, find some of those gems that we dropped here today.
Yes.
Pick one, pick two that you can implement today. Not tomorrow, but today. Pick some small ones. And like we said, watch those small habits transform into big results over time.
That's right. Yes, small wins are just as important as big wins, because the small wins is what makes those big results happen. So remember that.
Yes, ma'am. Big fact.
Yes.
Celebrate them. Celebrate the small wins just like the big wins.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
And for everybody listening, y'all already know we need y'all to stay safe, stay invested, and stay FY Fly. We'll see y'all next week.
That was dope.
Thank you all for listening to FY Fly, the podcast, and we hope you enjoyed the show. Tune in next week for more financial literacy insights with our special guests. Please visit our website, social media platforms, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at FYI Fly Podcast. That's FYI FLI Podcast. See y'all next week and stay fly.